Alright, this is the walkthrough for the upcoming quiz on quadratic functions. Find the roots of the quadratic equation. Roots, remember, means solutions. And so that is always using this formula. But in this case, we're given the graph. So instead of having to input the a, b, and c value here, which in case you wanted to know, a would be -1, b would be 0, c would be 9. You should recognize that. But in this particular case, the roots are wherever we have an x-intercept. So that's happening at -3 and +3. So the answer is -3, 0, and 3, 0. Solve the quadratic by locating the x-intercepts. X-intercepts happen whenever the y value is 0. Such as here we had x, y, it's 0 up. So here's 0 up, -2, 0, and 2, 0. This is a y-intercept, and it might be important. In this case, that is also the vertex you might recognize. But this 0 is in the x column. We're looking for zeros in the y column for solutions. Highlight the discriminant. It's just that piece inside. And what does it tell you? Well, right down here, positive numbers will have 2 solutions. That is a d value greater than 0. Negative will have no solutions. That's a d value less than 0, discriminant. And if the discriminant is 0, you will get 1 solution. Find, for this quadratic equation given, rearrange into standard form. So the first thing I'm going to do is realize that standard form must equal 0. This does not, so we'll add 9 to both sides. This new equation is 4x squared minus 8x plus 9 equals 0. So my a value is 4. My b value is -8. My c value is 9. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac, which means -8 squared minus 4 times 4 times 9. Putting that in the calculator would look like this. And it looks like the solution is negative. So calculate the discriminant, -80. So there are no real solutions. So calculate the solutions is not applicable in this one. For this one, the right side still does not equal 0. I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides, and I'm going to add 2v squared to both sides. My new equation is 2v squared minus 2v from right here minus 40 equals 0. My a value is 2, b value is -2, c value is -40. b squared minus 4ac is this discriminant. So that's -2 squared minus 4 times 2 times -40. What's that look like in the calculator? -2 squared minus 4 times 2 times -40. 324. Now that is not the solution, but it tells us that we could go on with the calculation The bigger calculation being this, if we were asked to, and we are, calculate the solutions. So the discriminant was b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So there should be two solutions, is what this number tells us, that there should be two solutions. So let's continue to get them. If I square root, I get the discriminant, I get 18. Now, negative negative is a positive, so I have 2 plus or minus 18 over 4. And I'm going to do once as a plus here and once as a minus. So 2 plus 18 over 4 is 5. And 2 minus 18 over 4 is negative 4. What that means, 5, 0 and negative 4, 0 are the solutions to this parabola. It's where it would hit the x-axis. What is the y-intercept on number 7? So here, when we're looking at the standard form, the c value is the y-intercept. That's going to be negative 5, or more specifically 0, negative 5. As we go on here, we're going to need our ABCs. So A, B, and C is 1, negative 4, negative 5. Let's go ahead and find the vertex. So negative 4 over 2. That's 4 over 2. That's 2. That's the x value of the vertex. To find the y value, we've got to now plug that back into the equation. So for x, 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 5. That's negative 9. So the vertex occurs, the vertex is at 2, negative 9. And finding the solutions, we're going to set this up negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 5 over that. Let's get our discriminant. It's going to be 36, which I can square root 36 and get 6. These double negatives cancel, so this becomes 4 plus or minus 6 over 2. Let's get our positive and negative solutions to that. 4 minus 6 over 2 and 4 plus 6 over 2. So I have negative 1 and I have 5. So at negative 1 there's a solution. At 5 there's a solution. I have a vertex at 2, 9. Apologies, 2, negative 9. So my parabola sketches out something close to that. The critical points that I've included here is my two solutions, my vertex, and my y-intercept. Those all need to be accurately graphed to make this correct. So all of this information ends up here. Then we have a few word problems. Here, we're throwing a softball. After how many seconds will it land on the ground? So we're going to go to Desmos, and we'll graph that function. I'm going to use x instead of t. I will not enter the function notation. I'll just start typing the equation, and I won't even say equals 0. All that's got to be kind of assumed, but I can see that it hits the ground at 2.1 seconds when I enter that into Desmos. 2.1 seconds. When will it achieve a height of 20 feet? A good way to do that would be to make a y equals 20 feet line, which is showing up in blue here, and that's first going to happen at 0.74 seconds, and it'll still be above until 1.25. So from 0.75 to 1.2. That's when it will be above the 20-foot line. So onto our final page, which is just a repeat. Actually, that is a repeat. I already had that on there. That is all the problems. So, good luck. Please study. Please turn in your homework.